So we've just had the privilege of listening in on two short stories, and obviously with both of them, there is more to come. But I think a critical element is if any of these characters at sort of day one had said, do you have a master plan? And do you know where you're going, with great clarity? The answer would have been no. But that could easily have been, a shut-off valve. Because in so many ways we are told, make a plan, get it done, get on with it, keep moving, and what's next? That didn't work, so get on with something else. But there's that kind of very tragic momentum in our culture right now. And that's what we do not want to happen. So in these two stories, and what we're talking about is you don't need a master plan. In fact, it'll likely get in the way because you're going to think, well, I can't do it all. I can't change the whole organization. I can't fix the politics of my state, etc. And you're going to get paralyzed. Don't do that. Slow down. Use one of the sensing approaches, whichever one works for you. Do a learning journey, take a dialogue, do whatever works, but make a connection. And instead of relying on the tried and true methodologies that you've been taught, give them a break. Let them take a pass for a minute and just bloody listen and see what bubbles up. So curiosity bubbled up in the Sandy conversation, and you don't know where curiosity is going to take you. That's the magic of it. So let the curiosity bubble, and it'll likely take a left hand and then a right hand and a couple of twists and turns, and that's wonderful. That's exactly what you want to happen. You don't need to know the final outcome. So what we want you to do is relax into this and just do something, but do something with your senses. Feel what strikes you. There's a little bit of inspiration that you've never quite had the courage to try on. Now's the time. So look around in your life, in your relationships with somebody, your network to, in your organization. See if you can find a peephole, a chink, a shard of light, and that you've never explored. And see if you can find a way to let it shine. And see what new possibility emerges. You don't have to have the end predetermined. In fact, that's what we do not want you to do. Just let it bubble.
So I'm going to pick up where Jack left off with an effort to strengthen our sense of where we are in this journey of not knowing. In some ways, that's what I think Jack was just saying, to stay in this place that might be uncomfortable of going, yeah, so we're here, and what is this, and what are we doing? And what are we doing, particularly in light of this incredibly disruptive moment in time and in history? And we want to encourage people as a result of today's conversation and going forward to understand a little bit more about this you process. And we haven't really technically introduced it, although you'll start to notice this you in almost everything that's Pathfinder related. And the idea, even just from looking at our logo, is that we are here, each of us, the purple figure, and we are meeting in small groups. Both our coaching groups across the country and across difference, and also hopefully within your organizations. And we are together cultivating our question, what more is possible as it relates to developing individualized supports, and doing that with curiosity, compassion, and courage. And so to just say a little bit more about our big picture. So we are here trying to discover what more is possible by co-creating new opportunities. And so it might not have been the moment to co-create new opportunities, especially in light of the shutdowns and all the other issues people have been up against. But now we're starting to come out of that. And so we want to continue both doing the kinds of sensing that we've already introduced, but also sensing for what purpose? What are we co-creating? Why? What is meaningful for us? And then our outfitters are trying to create experiences in which we find other sparks and other sources of inspiration and a sense of what more we might be doing. And so here we are in this U, connecting with new people, ideas, and practices during the large group gatherings. And then really important on the other side, making changes where you live and work, and learning through action. And our guide for this, here you see again the U in the center of our core practices. All right, so what is this U? And what is the impulse underneath the U experience? So before jumping into action, as if what is possible is already known, Theory U encourages a period of sensing by engaging informative and inspiring people and places with an open mind, open heart, and open will. Sensing involves both welcoming and taking in what is outside of us. So I'm listening more to Joe and John, and I'm paying more attention to what does it really look like and feel like to have a circle of support, and maintaining awareness of how we're experiencing what's possible on the inside. So what am I feeling drawn to do? And so the answer to what are we doing here is what are we feeling interested in and that we might take a stronger role in creating. So one way to think about the U is to see ourselves as this little figure over here on the lower little high point. And we wish we could be, we'd like to be, we want to try to create new and different experiences that bring to life real inclusion, real membership, and truly effective individualized supports. That's what the star represents. What Theory U invites us to do, or actually reminds us of, is that we can no longer get from where we are now to where we want to be by jumping over this learning process, this discovery process. And so in order to find our way, we let go of knowing and thinking that there is an answer and someone is going to deliver it or tell us what to do. And it's very important to say that most of us exist in services and systems that are all about telling us what to do. So by being even willing to go into this journey, we're already going against the grain, if you will, right? It's already kind of a countercultural response because we're looking deeper inside of ourselves and we're looking around us. And so we're going into this process of discovery that has various steps and invitations related to it. And here's an easier way to read that kind of too busy picture. But I like, just to say, I like that feeling that I feel this, I live this all the time. I just want to get from where I am over there on the lower hill to a place that's more aspirational. And I just cannot believe how difficult it is and how much time and attention it takes to engage in a deeper process of learning and discovery. So here we are. And this is really what this U is all about in a nutshell. And I will just go through some of the basic movements. Just by being here, just by showing up, just by saying, we don't know, I don't know, no one is giving us an answer. We are stepping into discovery. We are sensing possibilities by listening and taking the time to engage and to know, to hear in a deeper way what it is that we really feel we are resonating with, that we feel perhaps called or interested in going deeper into, and in taking more of a role in making something happen. We search and we aspire to be still and to form a highest potential. In just a few minutes, we'll be doing a variation of this in the form of a conversation, just by giving each other the time and space to listen from a deeper place and to get some earnest listening and also to get a little feedback and reflection. Then we hope that we are acting to learn, that we are going back from each one of these conversations and saying, what did I get from that? And what does that mean for what I might do? And acting to learn doesn't necessarily mean creating some big, gigantic innovation. It just means taking the next step to try something different and working with our organizations to accommodate the new. And so one of the things that makes Pathfinding Outfitters different from some other invitations around change is more and more people are asked to discover what they want to do more of, but they don't have the organizational support to accommodate the new. And so we're trying to hold on to that dialogue within each of your organizations. What does it look like if I want to do more around investing more and helping people have vibrant circles of support? What does that mean for the organization that I work for, and how might we give more of ourselves to that? And so we also become very aware that as we go through these steps, we also become more engaged in our own, what's the word I'm looking for? In our own struggle, actually. That's how I experience with having an open mind, an open heart, and an open will. Because we can't stay in this space of not knowing without strengthening open mind, open heart, and open will. And one reason that's so important, and I'm going to just go through this really briefly, because I want you to get into your groups and talk to each other, is we realize in the space of seeking to create something new that sometimes our biggest constraint is inside of ourselves. It's the voices inside of ourselves, our voice of judgment, our voice of cynicism, our voices of fear. And each one of us carry a kind of mother load of these voices. And part of what we try to do in the Theory U journey is, and also one reason that we do this with others in small groups, is that we need support to meet these challenges with curiosity and an open mind, to find compassion for ourselves and the people that we are involved with, and an open heart, and to discover places to have more courage and to exercise our open will. So in summary, to finish up, and we're going to say more about this in relationship to a resource that we send out. Each one of these conversations and the entire journey of pathfinding invites us into stepping into discovery, observing ourselves, observing the world around us, and observing places of potential. And we have different opportunities for sensing, and you'll get a little bit more about this after today, that are some practices that help us go deeper into sensing. And in a sense, for example, in just a few minutes in talking with each other, you're doing a bit of an interview, a dialogue, a reflection. The offerings that Patty and Kim and Joe just described are learning journeys. And so learning journeys are sensing journeys. There's a practice called sharing place and time. And then there's another one called a stakeholder interview. And really what all of these practices have in common is just slowing down and taking the time to observe, to listen, and to be reflective.